Nice of you to drop in.
Hello people, I'm the Real Comic Book Gamer, and today I'm going to be talking about the fact that there was a lot of things that were useless in Batman Arkham Knight. Well, pointless. And what I mean by that is pointless and bad are two different things. Pointless means more to the fact that if you were to take it out of the game would still pretty much flow the exact same. There wouldn't really be much of a difference. Or like it's just that if you did take it out, it might be even a bit better. But anyways, the first thing I want to talk about is Tim and Babs' relationship. This was completely pointless. What was the point of changing it from Dick and Babs to Tim and Babs? There was no reason to do that. It didn't add anything, and all it did was take away from a well-established relationship in the comics. It was stupid. Part of the joy of playing these games is the fact that we get to see these awesome things in the comics relived in this game. But no, they decided to change it to Tim and Babs, and it's really weird, and it's stupid, and it felt forced, and it seemed like the writers were just like, hey, we got the creative license to do this, so why not just change it because we can? That's really what it came down to me of how it felt, was we changed it because we could. Deal with it, nerds. That's what I think the Arkham Knight writers were thinking when they wrote that relationship in. It was stupid and pointless. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that relationship. Of course, also, that's one of the things I don't think anyone really liked, because from what I've seen, I haven't seen anyone defend that relationship, because I've harped on it before, and I haven't seen anyone that was like, hey, it was a good relationship for the game or anything. I haven't seen anyone defend it, so yeah, it was pointless. If they took it out of the game, guess what? Nothing would change. The only thing that would change was the fact that you wouldn't have to deal with that crap. That's it. Another thing that was pointless was Deathstroke. What was the point of him again? You threw him in there just so you could have another Batmobile side mission? Really? Really? Just so you could have another Batmobile fight? That was the whole reason for throwing Deathstroke in there. It could have been anyone. Why choose Deathstroke? Why take such a great character that the Arkhamverse has already destroyed before and do it again? That's so stupid. I mean, those were some of my favorite side missions, where going around to the militia places and taking them down, and then it was cool because you were able to talk to Deathstroke and stuff, even though it was an extremely over-the-top Deathstroke. Sounds like an idiot, because it's like, I'm gonna destroy you, Batman, because I don't lose twice to my enemies. Guess what he did? Oh, spoilers. Oh my gosh, it was so stupid. You guys know I'm a huge Deathstroke fan, and it just didn't make any sense. At least in Arkham Origins, they did a stupid thing that, like, it didn't line up with the character at all, and him getting beaten by a second-year Batman is just idiotic and would not happen. But at least we got a fun fight prior to all that happening. At least we got a fun fight. And this, we didn't even get a fun fight. We just got we got to fight him in a Batmobile. And it was stupid. It was pointless. Another thing that's pointless that leads into sort of connected to the Deathstroke side mission is Stealth Batmobile. What idiot at the Rocksteady table was just like, hey, you know what would make the Batmobile better? If we added stealth to it. Who thought of that? Who's like, you know what, we have a Predator for Batman, why don't we have Predator for the Batmobile? You know, that'd make it a whole lot better. That would sell a lot more copies, and, you know, that would show more about the Batmobile, because we spend so much time developing it. Why don't we add Stealth Batmobile? Someone, Sefton Hill, should have looked at, unless it was Sefton Hill who came up with it, but anyways, if it wasn't, Sefton Hill should have looked that guy in the face and said, you are fired, leave here right now. I don't ever want to hear something that stupid again. Like, Stealth Batmobile. Why? Why Stealth Batmobile? If you take it out, guess what? It takes out some huge segments of the game, as huge as in how long it takes, because you have to take down like 20 Batmobiles stealthily, and it's so stupid. The Cobra tanks, gosh, it was so tedious and stupid, and they did it over and over. And it was just like, hey, you know how much time we spent on the Batmobile? We spent a lot of time developing it, so it'd be a shame if you didn't use it, so we're gonna force you to use it, and here's one of the ways. The Stealth Batmobile. It was just, why? It was pointless. And another thing, that was pointless. The last thing that I'm going to talk about that's pointless in this game is the Arkham Knight himself. The whole point, actually there was a point to him, the whole point was so they could have the Arkham Knight in the title of the game. They needed a title, or like, hey guys, why don't we throw Jason Todd in there? Okay, but we need a title for the game. Hey, instead of having to be the iconic character called Jason Todd, well, not Jason Todd, called Red Hood, that everyone loves, and they even made a movie about a couple of years ago, so even more people know about him, and he's a great character, and he could also deserve more exposure as the Red Hood. Why don't we change him from that to the Arkham Knight? Because, we need a title. That's the whole reason they did that, because they needed a title to the game. That's why they changed him from Red Hood to the Arkham Knight. It was stupid. He could have worked just as well under, because you didn't have to follow the Under the Red Hood story arc, even though to me this game would have been infinitely better if they would have made an Under the Red Hood game. I think that would have been great. But even so, they didn't have to do that. It could have had just the Red Hood working for Scarecrow, and it would have been fine, because seriously, who didn't know the Arkham Knight was Jason Todd? Everyone did. So if you make it Red Hood, guess what? You get fan service there, because people are like, oh, Red Hood's in the game. And even though they know who Jason Todd is, that Jason Todd is the Red Hood, it doesn't matter. It's Red Hood there, because it's the exact same as Arkham Knight. The only difference is the fact that Arkham Knight is a stupid character. Because it's like, okay, so he survived Arkham and being tortured by the Joker in Arkham, so now he's the Arkham Knight. Okay. Okay, like, that was just, it was stupid. Why not have him be Red Hood? He would have functioned just as well under Scarecrow, and it would have been the same, because it hides his identity just as well as calling him the Arkham Knight, because it was so obvious that he was the Arkham Knight. It's another thing that was pointless, giving him the mantle of the Arkham Knight. I don't get it, and I've talked about this before, how I think that Jason Todd himself was a huge missed opportunity for an Under the Red Hood game, because that would have been just fantastic and amazing if they would have had this game be a Red Hood game, an Under the Red Hood game. Imagine the awesome fights you would have going around Gotham, chasing Red Hood around Gotham, fighting Amazo with Nightwing by your side with dual play. That would be awesome, like having to deal with Black Mask as well, and you still throw in the Deathstroke cameo, because that's what he had in the comics. He came in and he talked to Black Mask. That would be cool, just to see Deathstroke in a cutscene, and then be like, oh, he was there, and now he's gone, now I don't have to risk a crappy boss battle with him. But no, they decided not to do all that. They decided to do Arkham Knight, which was not a bad game at all, by the way. I don't want to give off the impression of that. I really enjoyed Arkham Knight. It's a good game. It's a great game, actually. It's not my favorite in the series, but it is still a great game. But to me, it's the last of the series. It could have been so much better. That's why I harp on this game a lot, is because of the potential it had. It was still a great game, but it could have been so much better. And it eats at me, because it's like, hey, it's the last Arkham Rocksteady game. It could have been so much better. Still great though, but could have been much better. Anyways, I know there's probably more pointless stuff in there that I didn't mention, but I didn't feel like going through every little thing. These were just things that stood out to me that were like, hey, that was pointless. Why'd you throw that in there? But anyways, please let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think? Well, what did you guys not like that was like pointless in the game? Where you're like, hey, why'd they add that? But anyways, please let me know that in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.
I want a girl like Lana Del Rey. I see her in my mind. Hey, I want